get into a non-paying.
Right.
Consequences.
Right. So that's where you got collectively as a family talk to. Because I talk to my grandkids all the time. My grandson, like I say, he's 21 years old, and we had that conversation. I send him something almost weekly about his responsibility, not just to himself, but to the family and to the folks that have invested in it. And he, sometimes you got to put that pressure. Hey, you got to understand, you carrying the weight of all us. So we have expectations for you. And so don't let us down. Don't let yourself down, but don't let us down either. Because we expect things from you. And sometimes you tell them that.
Got to represent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You got my name on your shirt. So you
I know that's right.
Like
Yeah. Ron Price, turn your mic on, man. Let us hear from you.
What's happening, man? I'm just sitting here enjoying the knowledge, man.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, we ain't seen you a couple of weeks there, but make everything good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I was double booked last week.
No, I understand. Hey, man. Let me run back, Bill. I want to ask you a question, man, before I forget. I had 4 hours last weekend while I was driving. Went back and listened to some of our sessions, and you had said a couple times that when you were in flight training, that the tests were designed for you to fail. Can you explain that? I mean, when you were taking the same test that those whiteboards were taking?
Well, my flight commander when I was in 38s told me that the tests weren't designed for me to pass. But what you have to deal with is you have to deal with implicit bias of your instructors. If instructors believe that blacks can't fly, man, I had a student once. We were going into Barksdale. I was the wingman on a 2-ship formation, and I'm flying on the lead in a thunderstorm trying to land in Barksdale, and I feel pressure on the stick from my student. I had to tell the student to get off the stick and don't touch it. And I got down on the ground and started cussing him out. And I felt sorry for him because he told me, well, sir, my mother told me that black people can't fly. And I blew up, told him, I don't give a damn what your mother told you. Don't touch that stick again. Hey, if you touch that stick again, you out of here.
Right.
He went back to fly 105s, become a fighter pilot in the Guard. But here was a student who had planted in his head that black people couldn't fly airplanes.
Absolutely. Same thing that said. Who was that? Charlie Kirk said that crazy shit. Remember?
I was getting ready to say that must have been some of the people in Charlie Kirk's bloodline.
Yeah.
Look,
I say to people, well, who did Eleanor ask to have take up in the airplane?
Tuskegee Airmen.
That's right.
Yes.
I don't want you. I want him to take me.
Yep. And I
was flying across the Atlantic once, taking a C5 over the Rhine, Maine, and the loadmaster asked me could he bring this Navy lady up to the cockpit to see what the cockpit was. And I had my headset cocked off to the side. The woman came up there and saw me sitting in the seat, and she asked the loadmaster, can he really fly? It's in the wintertime. We're 35,000 feet over the North Atlantic, and she asked a question like that. I just turned around and said, you better hope the hell I can. Get her out of here.
Right.
And I had to tell my crew, don't ever bring nobody up to the cockpit like that when I'm flying.
Right.
But, well, sir, I didn't know you could hear, because you know how you've seen how in the 5 we used to sometimes have the thing on one ear, your thing like your headset. Well, so that wasn't unusual. In Vietnam, a white lieutenant wanted to get a hop on an airplane I was flying, but he wouldn't come and ask me because I was the black aircraft commander. He he asked the co-pilot, he asked my co-pilot, can you go up there and ask him, will he let me go? And I asked the co-pilot, why didn't he get on the airplane and ask me? Because you're black, and he was scared. I
Yeah.
said, okay,
Yeah. But
okay.
He don't need to go then.
how
He
long?
did. He didn't, and I tried to blow a pallet to hit him as I gassed up the airplane to leave.
Mm.
Sometimes you get mad, man. You know, people. You asked me about that. One of the things that used to make me angry was who in the hell ever gave a black man some pilot wings in the United States Air Force?
Nobody. They had to earn them.
And if you don't earn them, you're not gonna get them. And I don't
Mm.
care who you are.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, we lose most of the students. We lose in solo because that's when we have to check you out. Are
Mhm.
you really serious? Are you ready to fly this thing by yourself? And you've been flying comfortable with an IP. He's gonna get out. Can you take it up? And that's where we lost most of the people. A lot of them do. And this was with blacks and whites, and they used to have. Um, I was thankful my wife didn't join the club of I used to call it the scared wives.
Mm-hmm.
Some wives would come down there and they were scared that their husbands would kill themselves in these areas.
Mm.
And they would get on their husband's back. Oh, I'm scared every time you go. Uh, no, you can't do that. And I know of some guys that didn't make it because their wives had them afraid that they would get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but you know, it is a lot of it is if you don't have the right instructor,
Mhm.
uh, and you be the real thing for that I used to tell the brothers that I see is be too dumb to quit.
Mm.
The only way the rumor passed that I had washed out of pilot training, and a brother who had gone to Howard with me was down at Webb down at Big Spring. I was up in Lubbock. This brother got on his motorcycle in a West Texas dust storm and came up and knocked on my door. And man, did you watch out? I said, did you see H. Rap Brown with a protest sign at the front gate? He said, no. I said, well, you ought to know. I ain't washed out because if they
Mm.
wash me out, H. Rap Brown and all of them going to be out there marching in front of the base claiming racism.
Mhm.
And, 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 and so he went back down. He lives in Atlanta now, but he tells people. So that's what Bill Jordan told me. Yeah, I told him that. Uh, and when I graduated, a brother who was behind me and he graduated, he came and told me, uh, they're glad that I graduated. They didn't want to see any more blacks like you graduate. Called me
Mm.
militant. See, they called me a militant
He's militant.
Mhm.
because when Martin Luther King was killed, a guy in my class every day would come and ask me, Jordan, when are your people gonna stop burning down my country? And the third time he did that, I shouted in the snack bar, I shouted to the top of my voice, I hope they burn this raggedy motherfucker down.
Mm.
And they split out. You could have heard a rattling loud in that snack bar. I went up to
Mm.
fly with my IP, whose children had been coming over my house on Saturday to watch cartoons and eat cookies and milk with me and Agnes.
Mm-hmm.
I went up to fly with him. You, unsatisfactory. We call that a pink. I went up to fly again. A pink. So I was gonna go for a Prague ride. I was sitting there, man. They have you sitting in. You can't wear a flight suit no more. You have to sit in a in your class B uniform and sitting there. You're supposed to be studying, and I was up there studying. I'm thinking, well, I don't know what's gonna happen to me now.
Hmm.
But the wing commander walked in there and he asked the flight commander, he said, how's Bill doing? Flight commander said, I don't know. He said, let me see his book, grade book. So he brought his grade book out, my grade book out there. And he said, he showed it to him. So the wing commander said, will Lieutenant Jordan graduate? He said, I don't know. And the wing commander looked at him and said, I don't care what it takes. Lieutenant Jordan will graduate.
Mm-hmm.
That was the wing commander. And I knew that wing commander when I was an airman. I used to give him his flight kit when he was stationed at the Pentagon. And I was a base ops specialist at Andrews Air Force Base. So he knew me as an airman. And it was people angry because he said that he didn't care what it took, I was gonna graduate. But I think he knew that they were trying to get rid of me after I told him I hope they burn this raggedy place down. Man, you know, a dude gonna come and tell me I'm in here training to be a pilot, and you gonna tell me my people is burning down this country.
So what you meant by that that they was designed to fail you was that
Look,
you could fill all of the squares, but it all depended on
on the IP.
on that final check ride. If he was just one of those guys that just didn't want to see you make it, okay.
If in when I went through, they started 6 blacks a year. Only 3 of those 6 would graduate. So we had about a 53% washout rate for black students. We're dealing with that is called a macro frog pond effect and all this stuff about I was a big wheel on a black campus, a small campus, but when I was put in a big pond with other big frogs, my chirp wasn't so big, so I felt useless. But it was deeper than that. When you have one guy in a class of 83 white, you have 83 students, 82 of them are white, one's black.
Right.
Who is going to allow that black to be a part of their support system or their study group when you already been told that 25% of the people going to wash out?
Right.
So, I mean, you know, first day when they look at you and say, wing commander says, I want you to look around the room. 1 year from now, 25% won't be here.
Right.
Only black. It's a funny thing, man. Everybody's looking at you.
Yep.
I mean, and that's why I say, y'all laugh, but I tell people, be too dumb to quit.
That's it. Preach.
Okay, I got it.
And one of the guys that I know who's just getting honored down in Texas, he told when he was in the White Rocket, he told his IP if he didn't allow him to solo, he was gonna kick his butt. That's what he told the instructor. If you don't allow me to solo, I'm gonna beat your. And he can't. They sent him back as an IP, and he did very well. But you have to take your hat off to. I take my hat off to guys who did it because I know how difficult it was, and what the attitude was. I had the honor of meeting Fred Cherry.
Yeah.
Who was the longest serving
POW.
African American and POW.
Yep.
And Fred Cherry, didn't he speak in Dover once? Yeah, he spoke at Dover. Fred Cherry said it was rough for him in pilot training. I talked to him. He said there were two blacks in his class, but you had two sections and they were in different sections. So they couldn't communicate.
Mm.
So what we did to bring about a change is we said, don't start blacks by themselves in a class. Only start blacks in pilot training when you have enough blacks that they can create a support system among themselves, because whites were not going to help them. So they started doing that for a while at the base I was at, and we improved the completion rate for blacks.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I left, they had this brother who was an Air Force Academy graduate. We had 13 students from Mississippi Valley State.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy who had graduated from the Air Force Academy, who was an instructor, decided that the best way to help them was put them in remedial reading, because the reason black students weren't doing well was because of their reading comprehension levels.
What?
Yeah. Here you want a guy to be a first-class pilot. You telling them he can't read.
Mm.
It's crazy.
All 13 of those guys washed out.
Mm-mm.
And the tragic part about it was the IP who put that program into being. The only reason they didn't wash him out, I was an IP when he was a student, and his IP came and asked me, should he fail him? Because he had done terrible on a ride. I told him, no, don't fail him. Give him a good and send him up for the check ride.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy was getting ready to wash him out. But I told
Mm-hmm.
him, no, don't wash him out.
Mm.
And he turns around and comes back and puts college graduates from Mississippi Valley State into remedial reading.
Mm. Wow.
What do you think of that, Bobby? What do you think of that, Leonard? What do you think of that?
That you got preconceived biases all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Air Force used to have a reading program.
Yeah, they did, and
Yeah.
it helped a lot of people who couldn't read. But what happens is you end up with biases because of regions and stuff like that. When I first went to school in Syracuse, New York, they put me in a reading course for 2 years because I sounded like my mother, who just so happened to be from Aliceville, Alabama. And because of the fact that I had a Southern accent, they assumed I couldn't read and write. So they put me in remedial reading and education for 2 years. So I've lived it.
Mm. No. Mm-mm.
But you got to remember something. Everything in this country was established during the time of slavery. Everything was meant for the Caucasian to succeed and everybody else to fall under, to be crumb snatchers or something like that. It was never the system in this country is not designed for no one else to succeed,
Right.
but Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when it comes to, say, competition, you compete for this and you compete for that. That's where the expression, we got to be 3 times better. We got to study harder.
Absolutely.
Because they don't have to. And
Right.
they don't, it's exactly what's happening now. It's do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Right? I don't have to show you nothing, but you got to show me everything.
Mm.
And
So if I'm grading you, you at my mercy.
right.
So I'm not gonna put you in charge, because then I would be at your mercy. And I know I remember a lot of times as an IG inspector, I would go to places and they saw I was black, and they didn't think I knew what I knew. So I would never go into place to be the superstar. I wasn't setting a trap. I just let them talk themselves into whatever it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they fell short, I would tell them, I'm not here. I'm not here because I'm IG and I'm here to write you up. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. There's things that you're lacking in that I can help you with.
Right.
And by the time I left, man, they wanted to give me coffee mugs. You wouldn't. I was like, you know, they assume you right. They assume. I told a lady down at Shaw, I said, do you ever let anyone else in the squadron answer questions? She's like, what do you mean? I said, ever since we've been in this conference room, you've tried to answer all the questions, and everyone else around the table is just watching you. Is that how the squadron work? Do you drive all the forklifts? You run all the documentation? You just do everything, right? She's like, no. I say, well, let them speak.
Mm.
Right? So I stopped telling her where I was going to be because she was following me around to make sure they didn't say something that, and I would tell them, I said, hey, look, whatever I'm going to write in this report is not about you. It's about the career field. I'm the same career. I'm a 2S just like you are. So whatever I'm saying is I'm saying, got the same thing. But it was always something with the folks, not necessarily in Northern Till, but it was just how they looked at you. I had a commander, a brother out at the third herd out at Tinker, and it was about 40 of us on the team. And he was like, are you guys core IG? He was like, yeah. He's like, wow, things are changing. I said, yeah. And this brother gave the presentation. I was sitting next to the team chief in the front row. Team chief looking at me. He's like, this guy's pretty good, ain't he? I said, yeah, he's pretty sharp. Was brother, right? So the chief, after the meeting, I was telling the other brother, I was like, they getting outstanding because the team chief, that brother done watered his eyes. He don't know. He just he'll date him if he could, because he was so impressed with this brother.
Right.
This brother didn't need paper. He was rattling off numbers and where his people were, what kind of equipment they had. He just knew it. And it's all about communication. It's how you communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with education. You guys are talking about education. You got to remember something. A lot of parents that are coming up today, a lot of them, their parents allowed them not to go to school.
Right.
The teacher hate me. You don't never help me. It's a waste of time. So now they have children.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cycle.
Yep.
And they don't know how to communicate with the teacher because their whole what I forget what the word is when you go into school, high school and elementary school, but they avoided that
Right.
as much as possible. Now they have children, and they have to go to, that's why they don't join the PTA. I never understood why people parents don't join the PTA.
Right.
You got to go to all the events your kids are in. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well have a hand in it. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
as a group of people, we don't think of education as being. We think of
We don't.
economics.
We don't think of
Economics more than
right. The whole
education.
circle.
That's why we got kids, slinging drugs and shooting people, but they paying the bills. So, the parents in the house ain't giving them up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because in our community, we've been taught that, you got to have money to succeed in this country. No, you got to have smarts to succeed in this country.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
smarts don't always come from the book, but it can help you, navigate the book.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I heard you guys were talking about, I was a student, I was a college student that was just there. I was at college to be at college. They gave me a letter, had red marking going across the page, said academic probation. I had to look that up because I didn't know what the hell that was. And then they said, you got to apply through admissions to get, if you want to come back. I'm like, well, wow. But like the colonel said, you got to be too stupid to quit. So I was like, well, I'm gonna apply again because I had fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But then I didn't become a serious student until I started working at Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. So I saw, I was challenged because I'm walking around with all these educated scientists and engineers and all these other folks, right? And I'm saying to myself, shit, I'm just as smart as they are.
Right.
But I had to get into the world that they was into, learn how to write like they do, learn how to speak like they do, learn how to compose yourself. That's why a lot of folks that are afraid of public speaking don't really advance in their job.
Right.
I can't put you in charge of anything if you're afraid to speak
Absolutely.
or you know how to speak. You can't lead if you're afraid to speak. So if you have children and you're not going to the PTA meeting at school or this and that, and the kids don't see that, you're not really giving them anything.
Right.
Because like you said, they repeat what they see. Well, my dad, my mom, my grandmama, everybody used to come to the play. How many, kids do after school stuff and the parents show up with enthusiasm?
Right. Show a period.
The biggest thing I learned, man, was when I graduated. I tell people, I used to tell all the young kids we do for the frat Project Alpha. I said, let me tell you something. I was on the mass transit in Baltimore with my cap and gown on, going down to the convention center. I didn't give a damn I didn't have a ride there. I got on the bus. I'm going to the graduation.
Yeah.
And I never thought twice about it. But
Yeah.
when I got to the graduation and I saw how the parents was there with air horns, sheets and everything, and I'm looking around, I'm like, well, where the hell is my people?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's when I said to myself, if I have children, I'm never going to leave them out there like that.
Where were your people, Ron?
Shit, they wasn't at the graduation. You know? And the thing about it, they were not into education.
Okay.
Mother was in New Orleans. My father was on Long Island running the street, right?
Okay.
And so education, they didn't come from education. Neither did I, but I didn't decide to go to college until I was eligible to go to college. I did from 9th grade on. That wasn't my focus. You know what I mean? But I had the grades just like everybody else. But then when I got to college and found out, what it was all about, and somebody said they didn't learn how to be a student. I didn't learn how to be a student until I met, Colonel Jordan. And he had me studying the GRE and the GMAT. And I had to go back and tell him, I said, well, shit, I got to figure out what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? So I learned that I had to be more knowledgeable than I thought I was. And what I mean by that for instance, like I remember in the military going to meetings at Langley, and the boys would be sitting there bullshitting the general about whose fault it was that the airplanes weren't meeting the sorties and all this other shit. And they would say, well, supply, and I'm like, well, I'm sitting there, and then it dawned on me, I had to go through the minutes before the meeting, days before the minutes, put some question marks down, highlight some shit, because they was holding anything that was in there that had a national stock number. That was supplies fault.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, sir,
you got to defend yourself.
This part was delivered on such and such a date, and I don't know why it's being coded, or we're here saying supply is waiting. That's not true, sir. The part was delivered like 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And the boys would be sitting there looking at me, and afterwards they was like, you wasn't supposed to say that. I said, well, shit. What was he supposed to say? Sit there and take them? They said, yeah, we got to take them dumb darts. I was like, no, not me. Because, them boys, the general sitting there saying, well, why are my metrics for my F-16s, my supply rate is lower than Ramstein? Ain't nobody had the nerve, the heart to tell the man, because Ramstein got 16 goddamn jets. You got 400.
Right.
That's why. In the Langley, they used to tell you, well, what's your 5 top drivers? I had never heard no shit like that. It's like 5 top drivers. They said, what are the 5 top drivers that are eating the fleet? The fleet? What the hell is the fleet?
Yep.
See, so it was a setup. They send you these places, and I'm sitting there. The first time I heard a bullet background paper, I'm looking around. I'm like, what the hell is a bullet background paper? And it's 10 o'clock now, and they want it by 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Who's typing it? You are.
You are.
So, and that's where, the things that you learn as far as schooling, it comes into play. So now you got to put everything that you've learned somewhere along the line together to be in the room. And a lot of times you don't get invited in the room if you're not because I always tell people, I said I learned and I read a couple chapters in the book. And it's like, what book? I said, you don't know about the book? And it's like, no. I said, fake it till you make it.
Said fake it
Because
till you
that's
make
what they doing.
it. Mm,
I said, I got the new version.
mm,
Because that's what they're doing. They're sitting there and they're just throwing it out there, hoping nobody come and get them.
Yeah.
mhm,
You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? But the more education you have, the more threat you are as a black man, as a minority, period.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Just like your resume, you got to dummy down your resume. You can't be smart on your resume. You're not gonna get hired. This ain't gonna come in here and take my damn job.
You competition for them.
No,
So-
they don't have what you have because we tend to go above and beyond what we need to survive in this world. You know what I mean? As a rule, how many white folks do you know work part-time jobs?
Yeah.
That's educated.
Right.
They don't work no damn part-time job because they're happy with their salary.
Right.
But and as a group, like he was saying, the colonel was saying about the pilots, that happened to us when I was at Dover and I went to supply. So we got together and we had so they put me in charge of the team, and I called the team the dream team after the basketball team, right?
Mhm.
You should have seen the white senior NCOs come up to me asking me, what's this about the dream team? I said, what kind of skills you got? Can you go hard in the paint? They was just looking at me, and
Mhm.
that bothered them that they heard that.
Mhm.
And I had the commander, Colonel Ski told me, he said, you run a good meeting. Man, I was in that meeting. I was like, look, they say something that was out of order. I said, well, you need to go to AFI, such and such and such, and look at chapter. You're reading the wrong direct instruction.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And they
Mhm.
would sit there and they're like, well, okay. And we never, ever failed to deliver.
Right.
Mm.
But the perception was they don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you walk in the room, they size you up. They do, and they still do.
Mhm. Mhm.
You tell them you went to an HBCU. It's amazing that black university's been around since the 1800s, and white folks just now learning what the HBCU acronym means
Mhm.
or stand for. They don't know the meaning.
Right.
You didn't realize they exist.
Like homecoming, people hear, oh, there was a shooting at home, but they don't know what homecoming means to the people that went to that school.
No.
Mhm.
It means a lot. Homecoming means a lot because now you go back to how you was nurtured, and who mentored you to put you in position to be where you are today.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's why it's big.
Mhm.
That's where you got your start,
Right.
Yep.
your true start anyway. But
Mm.
I always get a kick out of listening to Bobby talk about his students because teaching is 75% communication with the students. The other 25% is the homework. And I was so damn disappointed when I found out the teachers, the text that they have got the answers to the questions and solved the problems for them. I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Mhm.
You got to go research the answer. It's provided to them.
Yes.
That's what I mean by fake it till you make it. So they
Mm.
just read what's in the book.
Right.
They don't bring, like you guys was talking about, the Moors and where they don't bring that to the table. You don't get that from
Very,
a lot of white teachers or professors.
very few. I've had a couple, but very few.
That's how you retain whatever that course is through the interaction and stories like that.
Right.
Which it's kind of motivates you to go and dig deeper to find out what the hell really went on.
Right.
Mm.
Instead of taking somebody's word for it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
They had a guy, and I never figured out how he did it, but when I was growing up in New Orleans, there was a sheriff in Jefferson Parish in a city called Gretna. Gretna was the city that during Katrina, where the people was on the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
that was Gretna.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this sheriff. I remember this guy's name when I was a child and hearing the grown folks talk about his name was Ivory Lee or something like that. And when they mentioned that during Katrina, I said, that dude's still alive. He's still the sheriff.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
You know, and that's how, you know, if they uncle, auntie, grandmama, or somebody don't get them a job at the steel mill, they ain't working at the steel mill.
That's right.
Mm.
But we got to have all these certifications. If you had your master's degree, you know, you would have been at the top of the class. You know, it's a shuffle game. You know, it's like they said, you know, a bachelor's degree, a BS degree is bullshit. A master's degree is more the same. PhD is power high and deeper.
Mm.
You said my mother used to.
That's what those degrees. That's what they mean.
That's what my mother used to say, Ron. My mother used to say that. Just one of the things that I wanted to share is that I talked about the racism that existed in pilot training, and I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for some decent white folks in that system, because they helped me. I'm indebted. I'm indebted to a lot of decent white folks for what I achieved in the military. I would have never been the commander of that unit if it hadn't been for the wing commander we had, because the personnel officers looked at my record and said I wasn't worth anything. I just wanted to clear that up. So for me, yes, there was a lot of racism. Racism exists, and I've talked about that before.
Right.
Some good white people.
Yep.
That helped me along the way.
Absolutely. Always.
We've been talking about education, right? And I'm sitting here
and the other thing I wanted to say, Bobby, the other thing
go ahead.
is that when Bobby talked about high school, he took me back to my years in high school. I'll never forget when I graduated, all the kids were looking at their position in the class. Now were my two parents. And I was supposed to look at my position in the class, and I stepped up to the thing, and I started at the top, and I couldn't find my name nowhere, so I went to the bottom and worked from the bottom up. I was number 380 out of 384 in the class. and people, and I was so embarrassed with my parents, and people wondered, how did this N-word stay in college preparatory for 3 years and end up that low in class, man? When I finally went to college, the first question I was asked by people who knew me in high school was, what remedial courses are you taking?
Oh, man.
Man, Bobby, you don't know, man.
Yeah.
When I heard you talking about high school, I remember me and my brother. If it looked like we were going to be late, I'm not going to the detention hall. I'm going home and tell my mother to write a letter, say I'm sick. And when 3:30 comes, I'm getting on my bicycle and go deliver my telegrams like I'm supposed to. Make it fun. And Ma, please don't tell Pop that I did this neither. So Bobby, yeah, high school for me.
Listen, I did it, but man, listen, high school wasn't my thing, man. I ain't like the people. They was, you know, no. Let me just get out of here. But listen, I just want to kind of turn the subject a little bit because.
Okay, hold up before you turn it.
Okay, good.
Now look, y'all done busted. We're gonna break 2 hours. Like I said, I'm not gonna take you guys too far over 2 hours. So, Bobby, this is your last bite. So go ahead, get it in.
Look, we done talked about education. We talked about airplanes. I just want to know: is anybody know what airplane George Washington flew?
Mm.
He flew his F-16.
Okay, I just want to know because I know somebody said they captured airports and all right.
Is that where he at now, Bob? I ain't hear that one. I know he come up with some shit, man.
Man, the boy said they flew the ramparts. And they flew the ramparts and they captured airports and airplanes. And George Washington went across the thing and I'm like,
when this happened,
man, what? I'm trying. That's why I want to know what planes Washington flew. Cause hell, shit. I mean, look, I heard he was a good general, but hell, if he was a hell of a pilot too.
Yeah, he had all. He had the whole package.
All I remember is the Joker crossing in a boat. I don't remember I don't remember no wings now. I'm just saying.
And he wasn't driving the boat.
When that Joker in 1600 said,
Bobby, which George Washington are you talking about?
hey, that's what. But look, see, I knew which one he had to be talking about when he said he crossed in the boat. They took the airports, and I'm like, hold up, man. I'm like, hold up, man. Hold up, dog. I gotta rewind this because this just can't be it, man.
I missed that one, man.
Oh, hey, listen, man.
I need to see that. I missed that one.
Listen, man. Listen, bro.
And nobody said anything.
Nope.
Man.
They let him talk.
And look, man, he up in there with a whole bunch of folks.
They let him talk, Bob.
Oh, they ain't gonna never say nothing. But
come on, man.
Like,
can't interrupt the emperor.
Yo,
I missed that one.
That Joker said, yeah, they
Is that since he had with the Saudi guy here?
No, that's been a couple weeks ago.
Oh, a couple of weeks ago. Okay.
I don't know when he did it. I don't know when he said it, but he talked about the ramparts.
I missed that one.
Man, listen, bro.
You didn't fall out. Bob, you didn't lay down on that one.
Man, who? Man, I was curled up in the corner. Listen, man. You know how they say they Joker had them pointing shoes, said they had them roach killers kill them in the corner.
Yeah.
Man, that's the way you had to get me out the corner.
Oh, AI says that Donald Trump's mistake was likely due to a teleprompter error.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. AI gonna always give him some love.
He wasn't reading correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
He got a reading problem.
But listen,
him wrote it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like Richard Pryor say, the teleprompter, he talked for 15 minutes.
That's crazy.
Oh man.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Man, I'm good.
You good, Bob?
Listen, man. I couldn't take it.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I can't be in the room with him, man, and he go off like that. Because they gonna listen, I'm getting locked up.
Mm.
They gonna throw away both keys. They gonna throw away the one that's gonna lock me in and the spare. Because I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah, I know. I seen them fall out, man. I seen that boy that just lay down, man. Had to help him up.
Listen, man.
Somebody cut up like that. What you got, Ron? Come on, one more time with us.
Dude was sleeping in front of the whole world, and he said he wasn't sleeping.
I seen it.
Everybody standing around behind him with that little pepsodent smile. He getting some good sleep in.
Yes. Drooling, man.
That was when Dr. Oz gave him the 1.35 billion pounds that Americans gonna lose.
Wi-Fi? No.
Ain't that something?
That say one said 1.35 billion.
Right.
Dr. Oz said, no, Mr. President, That joker like this. He ain't hear nothing. That joker in the big soft chair, his head like this.
He was gone.
Man, listen.
Daddy, come get your Bob.
No, that was Trump. That was Trump. He was in the chair.
No, I'm just saying, if you'd have been there, they'd come haul you out of there, huh?
Oh,
Bruh.
Cameras would have fell down. You know, them lights on the cameras. Everything would have fell down because I'd have fell down. I'd have been out. They'd have been like, well, what's wrong with him? You know how my man fell out that day, that same day, right?
Yeah.
He fell out. Look, they'd have thought I was him. I'd have been like dominoes. I'd have fell out. Everything would have went down. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like, man, come on, man.
Him and Kennedy, man.
I gotta share this with y'all. The folks at Keystone, what they call them, Keystone, the sect there.
Right.
In June of 1774.
So they talking about how they want the standards to be this and that, and they want more. You know, when we came up, they had, you know, military standards, and they had the 4 things, you know, neatness, cleanliness, and all of those things, right? Military image. But because of, you know, the number one, the student body that you have today and the way the world works today, they have to not draft, but recruit what's available.
Right.
I saw a guy in a flight suit, and I thought it was a chick.
Oh, yeah.
This dude had long, flowing blonde hair in his flight suit.
Come on, man.
She was going down his back. My damn jaw hit the ground.
Jesus.
And I sat down and I started thinking, I said, maybe he's transitioning. And then I said to myself, I cannot believe he walking around the base with all that hair on his head in the flight suit.
Right.
And it's like everybody was like, you know, it's normal.
It is normal. That's why I don't know why these politicians are making this thing a big stink.
Right.
And I'm gonna just give you this, and I happen to use the word stink, but the reason I use the word stink, I'm just saying they do. But when we was in school and in the military, whatever we did, if a joker had a body odor, stayed away from him.
Yep.
We talked about him.
Yep.
And we made him feel real bad.
Absolutely.
Man, these kids in the school, they don't get down like that.
No.
Joker be man. I had a girl walk past me the other day, man, and I didn't even know it was her. I said, "Oh my God." You know, listen, they don't care.
Yeah,
It don't bother them. Like, you know, Pig Pen and all them, Chester, you know, man, listen, man, you wasn't getting away with that, man.
Yeah, well, that goes along with the hairstyle, not combing your hair, your pants hanging off your butt. You got 5 pairs of shorts on because you want your pants to sag. It has no meaning, no value in life. You know, with anything, you walking and holding your pants. You can't keep your hair. I said, nobody ever showed them the pictures of the folks out in the field with the hair looking like their hair. It wasn't a hairstyle. It was a hygiene problem.
Right.
And that's what I mean by the family, the fabric of the family, where the kids are allowed to do these things and the parents, well, you know, they're expressing themselves, but you got to live in the community.
Right.
The world is a community.
Absolutely.
And that's how you get outcasts.
You're right.
You know, because like Bobby said, you walk in there, and when I was stationed in England, the Brits was like that. Well, the Brits was shell shocked still from World War II all the way up to 1990 shit. So they took a shower like maybe 2, maybe 3 times a week. They wore the same clothes 3-4 days a week.
Right.
And that was normal for them. But when they walked by, man, I remember I was dancing with this one girl at the NCO club, and she was so funky, my eyeballs started hurting. My eyeballs was hurting, man.
Hey,
I was like, damn.
That's
That
when
smoke went through my eyes to my brain, man.
listen.
You know.
Hey, that's the tears of a clown.
He said, "The got me to my damn knees."
You hung in there though, man. She must have had something else you wanted.
Bruh.
Hmm.
Nah, I had to let her go, man.
Okay.
She doing the
And the funk knocked me to my knees.
And I was slow dancing with her.
Oh God.
Oh damn, boy!
Mm.
That must have been some good Tanqueray.
That's something, man. Something.
I was telling the boys, I was like, man, don't dance with that shorty over there. Bruh, she got my eyeballs hurting, man. I said, I gotta go outside.
Man, Axe ain't got nothing on it, bro.
No, and that's the thing, you know, what we're talking about is the family. The family's not the family. Like this time of the year, I remember I used to always get nostalgic because remember that song by the OJ's Family Union? I always associate that song with Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Thanksgiving used to be a big family holiday.
Yeah.
As well as Christmas. But Thanksgiving was to me was better than Christmas because it wasn't about gifts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Man,
especially you ain't seen your cousins and all that. You know, you at your grandmother's house.
Yeah.
And you get to hang out with some cousins you haven't seen in a long time, you know. And now Thanksgiving is just another day.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Get everybody together.
Yeah, everybody don't get together.
No, you're right. You're right.
And that's when they, you know, when you sat down at Thanksgiving, they said, "Boy, how you doing in school? What your grades doing like? You gonna pass? You gonna go to the third grade next year again?" You know.
Yeah.
And they would clown you in front of the other cousins that are doing well in school.
Go to the third grade again.
You know? And so you'd be like, well, shit. And you hear about your cousin, oh, she's going to law school, she got accepted, and you sitting there, you're like, that's where the peer pressure comes in. What you gonna do with your life? You know? But it's a shame that, you know, a lot of folks don't realize that after a certain period in life, it's about, if you have children, it's about your children. It's no longer about you. Because if you don't put the work into your children when they're little people, how can you have these lofty expectations when they become adults?
You're right.
Yeah.
You set them up for failure.
Right.
That bullshit about the teacher don't like me. The teacher don't like you because you always disrupting the class.
That's right.
You ain't never got your homework.
Yep.
And when you come to class, you unprepared. I never forget being in college, and the one thing I hated most about college was when the professor would ask a question, there's 50 people in there looking down at the damn desk. And then the next thing coming out the professor's mouth was take out the sheet of paper. I'm like, God damn. Here come the pop quiz that you're gonna get another F.
Yeah.
Because you ain't studied nothing. You didn't read anything, you know.
Yep.
So I started answering questions. I raised my hand in her, not you, somebody else. I raised my hand because I didn't read the shit. I'm gonna get that one answer right, so you know I participated.
Yeah.
You know, you got to give me some for class participation. You know, I know the material. I just froze up on the test. They said, "Well, that happens." I didn't read it. Shit, I got caught changing my grade in college. Dance class, and I ain't never thought about they could kick my dumb ass out of school. I was in the dance class, right? So she caught me red-handed. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, you gave me a B when I had an A." And she's like, "No, you had a B. I didn't have a B. Shit, I had a C, but now I got a B." But I didn't think about it when I thought about the ramifications and the repercussions. I said, man,
yeah,
she actually became one of my biggest mentors. You know what I mean? And that's what we don't have today. We don't have people willing to be a mentor and put time into kids, because you don't gain wisdom until you live through it. Wisdom
Yeah.
is hindsight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? So you
Yeah.
can't expect somebody to know something when they've never experienced it. And that's where the military falls, because you bring people from all walks of life and then you expect them to all be on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
We're not on all the same level.
Yeah.
And the diversity is what Colonel Jordan was talking about earlier. So you might have a black kid, or Indian kid, or a white kid. That's like a white kid going to a black school.
Yeah.
He might know something that the rest of us don't know because he was exposed to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Standardized testing is not for people that look like us.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? Because the questions, some of the times I look back on standardized testing, I said, whoever wrote them damn tests must have been smoking marijuana, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you had to think to get the goddamn answer, like you was high. I remember reading on the SAT, somebody chlorophyll is to plants like green is to frogs, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know? But nobody ever explained the connection of that question to me. So I mean, I guess the answer right, but
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not what we talk about in the community.
This is true.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't
Yeah.
we're not on that level. So
Mm-hmm.
when we get the chance to move up the C-suite, we're not ready, because we
Mm-hmm.
focusing on wrong thing. The C-suite people are the communicators. They bullshitting one another. They ain't necessarily the smartest people in the room, but they got the gift to gab.
Right.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's all I got, man.
Smitty.
Oh, well, I think I said enough already.
You ain't never lied. No, I'm just
you know, and every time I come here, and we get to share all these ideas. It really helps. It gives you some food for thought as you go through the world for another week or two. I look at things from different perspectives, so I really appreciate just the gathering.
Yeah.
So much from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, people are listening, man. Like I said, I'm gonna let you have the last word. You can always get the last word. But people are listening. Some of you guys, some of the talks we've had, some of them went over 1,000 views, and people responding. Last weekend, you guys know we lost Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I went up to his services last Saturday, and even in there, some people was coming up to me and saying, oh yeah, you the guy that talked to Joe, and yeah, we be watching, and this, that, and the other. But I'm not gonna talk about Joe because I don't think the dirt has settled over his head yet. Bill, I'm gonna let you have the last word, man. Bring it, take us home.
Well,
Give us the benediction.
well, this conversation this evening was beautiful for me because earlier I participated in a conversation early on Wednesday with elders, people that we consider elders, but I haven't been vetted yet. I'm just a senior citizen. The rest of these guys are barbers and all that.
Mm.
And sometimes the discussion gets very esoteric above the level.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always refreshing for me to come and be a part of this conversation, which I think is more down to earth and more realistic about life than an esoteric discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I really learned from the comments of each of you, and it helps give me clarity on a lot of things that I'm involved in that I may not have good clarity on. Just sitting listening to Leonard, Ron, and Bobby, and really is helpful for me and you too,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, Ed. The one thing I'm leaving tonight with, I heard some discussion, is what made me successful in college. It was, what made me successful in college was my military training, the NCOs. I looked at the professors as being NCOs, and I couldn't give an excuse why I didn't get the job done. So I knew what Ron would have done to me if he gave me a task and I didn't do it. I knew what Leonard would do to me if he gave. I knew what you would do to me, Chester, if you gave me a task and I didn't do it. And I knew what Bobby would do if he gave me a task and I didn't do it. So I always looked at the professors as as the NCOs, and I knew I had to do the work. And people were surprised. But that came from what I learned in the military. And I don't think if I'd have gone to college at 18, I would have had a lot of stories to tell about women. I would have finished. I wouldn't have finished. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have finished. And so I'm thankful to what was given to me, what I was trained to do, and what I learned to do as an enlisted man in the United States Air Force. And so I want to thank y'all for making me present to that this evening. I'm cool.
Okay. Amen.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, man.
Catch y'all on the next one. All right.
All right, brother.
All right.
Be safe.
Have a good one.